In today's world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us happiness comes from outside ourselves. We are told that we need more possessions, more money, and more status to be truly happy. This relentless pursuit of external gratification keeps us trapped on a never-ending treadmill of desire. True happiness cannot be found in the external world, but resides within ourselves. Lord Krishna guides Arjuna, revealing the secrets to lasting peace and fulfillment. The Gita encourages us to turn our attention inward and seek happiness within. The Bhagavad Gita views desires as a double-edged sword. On the one hand, they motivate us to act and achieve. On the other hand, they can easily lead us astray, binding us to a cycle of craving and dissatisfaction. When we identify ourselves with our desires, we become attached to their outcomes, creating anxiety, fear, and suffering. Krishna explains that desire arises from a mistaken belief in the separate self, the ego. The ego thrives on identification with the body, mind, and senses. It constantly seeks pleasure and avoids pain, clinging to the illusion of permanence in an ever-changing world. This attachment to the impermanent is the root cause of our suffering. When our desires are fulfilled, we experience a fleeting sense of happiness, but it is soon replaced by new desires. This insatiable hunger for more keeps us trapped in a vicious cycle. The Gita teaches us that true freedom lies in breaking free from this cycle by transcending our desires. The cycle of craving and dissatisfaction is a fundamental concept in the Bhagavad Gita. It is described as a never-ending loop of desire, attachment, disappointment, and renewed craving. This cycle keeps us trapped in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction, preventing us from experiencing true happiness. Krishna explains that attachment is the glue that binds us to this cycle. When we are attached to something, whether it is a material possession, a relationship, or an outcome, we become dependent on it for our happiness. This dependence creates fear of loss and a constant need for validation and security. The Gita teaches us that the key to breaking free from this cycle is to cultivate detachment. Detachment, in this context, does not mean indifference or renunciation of the world. It simply means engaging in life without being attached to the outcomes. It is about acting with clarity, purpose, and a sense of inner freedom. Section 4, the impermanence of things. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes the impermanent nature of all things. Material possessions, relationships, and even our own bodies are subject to change and decay. Clinging to these impermanent things as sources of lasting happiness is bound to lead to suffering. Krishna reminds Arjuna that everything in the material world is in a constant state of flux. Just as day turns into night and the seasons change, so too do our circumstances and experiences. Attachment to the impermanent creates a false sense of security and blinds us to the true nature of reality. When we let go of our attachment to the impermanent, we develop a deeper appreciation for the present moment. We begin to see the beauty in the ever-changing nature of life and experience a sense of peace and tranquility that is not dependent on external circumstances. Section 5. The Path of Detachment. The Bhagavad Gita offers practical guidance on how to cultivate detachment in our daily lives. Krishna teaches Arjuna that detachment begins with understanding the true nature of the self. We are not our bodies, our thoughts, or our emotions. We are the eternal, unchanging consciousness that witnesses these fleeting phenomena. By shifting our identification from the ego to the true self, we weaken the grip of desire and attachment. When we realize our true nature as pure awareness, we no longer feel the need to seek happiness in external objects or experiences. Detachment is not about suppressing our desires or withdrawing from the world. It is about engaging in life with a sense of clarity, purpose, and inner freedom. When we are detached, we can still enjoy the pleasures of life without being enslaved by them. We can act with wisdom and compassion, knowing that our true happiness lies within. Section 6. Finding freedom within. True freedom and fulfillment are found within ourselves, not in the external world. By overcoming desires and attachments, we tap into boundless peace, joy, and love. The path of detachment is not easy, but the rewards are immeasurable. Cultivating detachment brings inner peace and liberation from suffering. We become more present, compassionate, and responsive to others. The Bhagavad Gita's teachings are timeless and relevant today. In a materialistic world, the Gita offers a path to lasting happiness and fulfillment. Applying these teachings helps us break free from desire and experience true joy.